Hello, and welcome to this lesson on the most commonly used basic sentence structure in English. The way words are used in a sentence in English and the order in which they appear may be different to the way things are done in your first language. To communicate well in English, we need to know how sentences in English work. It's all about having the right building blocks in the right order. I'll walk you through the 3 key parts of a basic English sentence, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to identify these parts and start forming your own sentences with confidence. Take notes as you follow this video and write down your answers to any questions. Let's get started. What is a sentence? In English, a sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. It starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Have you ever wondered what makes a sentence in English complete? Write down your answer. Every sentence needs at least 2 things. A subject. This tells us who or what the sentence is about. And a verb. This tells us what the subject does or what action the subject takes. For example, Tom eats. Here, the subject is Tom, the person the sentence is about. The verb is eats. The action Tom takes, what Tom is doing. But wait, this sentence can be even clearer and more interesting if we add more information. Let's look at an example. Tom eats an apple. We know that the subject is Tom, who or what the sentence is about. The verb is eats, the action Tom takes, what Tom is doing. Now we add the object. The object is the thing or person that receives the action of the verb. In our example, the object is an apple, what Tom is eating. A quick word on verbs. Usually we think of verbs as doing words. Words that tell us what action is occurring or what someone is doing. Words like jump or run are verbs. Some verbs look a little different though. The words am, is, are, was, and were are also verbs. Keep an eye out for them. Let's look at a few more examples. The dog chased the ball. Subject, the dog. Verb, chased. Object, the ball. She writes emails. Subject, she. Verb, writes. Object, emails. Most English sentences follow a specific order. Subject, verb, object. Notice how the subject comes first, followed by the verb, and then the object. This is the most common sentence structure in English, and it's a great starting point for building your grammar skills. Common mistakes to avoid when creating a sentence. Now, let's talk about a few mistakes English learners often make. Forgetting the subject. This results in nobody knowing who or what is taking action. Incorrect. Eats an apple. Correct. Tom eats an apple. Repeating the subject. Incorrect. Tom, he eats an apple. Correct. Tom eats an apple. Forgetting the verb. This results in nobody knowing what is happening. Incorrect. Tom, an apple. Correct. Tom eats an apple. Getting the word order wrong. Incorrect. Eats Tom an apple. Correct. Tom eats an apple. Every sentence needs at least a subject and a verb to be complete. Not all sentences need an object. Only use one when it makes sense. Remember, the subject comes first, then the verb, then the object. Practice time. Now it's your turn. Let's practice identifying the subject, verb, and object in a sentence. Write down your answers. Look at this sentence. The teacher asks a question. Can you find the subject, verb, and object? Take a moment to think. Here's the answer. Subject, the teacher. Verb, asks. Object, a question. Let's try one more. They play soccer. Answer. Subject, they. Verb, play. Object, soccer. You may have noticed that not all sentences are as short as our examples. What about longer sentences? How do they work? Longer sentences must also tell us who or what. Subject does something. Verb. Object. Look at this example. Thomas Hardy, one of the most famous novelists and poets in English literary history, married a lady from Cornwall. Now let's find the subject, verb, and object. Who does what with or to someone or something? Who is this sentence about? Thomas Hardy. He is the subject. What did he do? Married. This is the verb. Whom did he marry? A lady from Cornwall. This is the object. But what about this underlined bit? This information is extra info about the subject. It doesn't have its own specific subject. It doesn't have a verb. By itself, it isn't a complete sentence. Practice time again. Identify the subject, verb and object. Write down your answers. The scholar analyzes the themes of identity and exile in James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. Answers. Subject. The scholar. The scholar is the person doing something, taking action. Verb. Analyzes. This is what the scholar is doing. Object. The themes of identity and exile. This is the object of his action. Let's look at another one. The professor critiques the narrative structure of William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying in her latest article. Answers. Subject. The professor. She is the person doing something. Verb. Critiques. This is what she is doing. Object. The narrative structure of As I Lay Dying. This is the object of her action. Now you know the basics of English sentence structure: subject, verb, and object. This structure is the foundation of clear communication in English, so it's important to practice it as much as you can. Remember, the more you practice, the easier it will become. Enjoy your English language journey.